Hello everyone, especially if you are a California citizen, one of the 30 million plus people that live in the beautiful state of California. Uber's trying to get a yes on 22 in November. I'm asking you to vote no, and I'll explain why, right? Instacart, Uber, Lyft, Doordash have put $180 million plus into this campaign, the costliest campaign in history, more than what pharmaceutical companies have paid, more than what the oil industry has paid for past propositions or bills, and they're super desperate. So they upped it from 110 million to $180 million. And you and I know, and the California citizen knows, that this money could have been put to better use. Education, environment, so many other ways. Uber, Lyft, Instacart, and that could have spent this $180 million. But no, it's their bill. They want to own it. They want to get yes on 22. And here are the reasons why you should be voting no. Even if you're a rider and passenger using Uber and Lyft, we still want your support no on 22, right? Now, the bill suits the gig companies. It was written by the gig companies for the gig companies, not for the worker. What these companies are doing, they are using this word or these words, independent contractor, so loosely, saying that we are independent contractors and that they are giving us the independence, which they are not. And that's the biggest catch here, right? We, on the other hand, if you're fighting for no on 22, are pushing for true independent contractorship, or show us that you care and put money in, that you actually start paying taxes, that you can actually start creating a safety net, right? Because you, the taxpayer of California, had to bail out Uber, Lyft, and that. Why? Because they did not put money into the safety net. They did not put money into the health funds for drivers during the pandemic. And it's your tax dollars that bailed out Uber and Lyft. They don't want to pay in, right? They don't want to have to pay the driver so that the driver could set something aside for a safety net, or have some form of insurance, or have some form of say. They want to dictate the outcome and pay zero taxes, right? Every quarter they're just declaring loss after loss after the loss. They're using your roads, they're using your airports, they are making you, the California taxpayer, pay the dues so that the state has to bail out the drivers. And that is wrong. They should be trying to get you, or trying to mislead you with a yes on 22. They can go back to the same old, and that is not pay into the system, right? Not take care of drivers. Pay drivers the absolute minimum. It is atrocious what Uber, Lyft, Instacart, and Doordash are paying their gig workers in the past few years, right? Once upon a time, 5-6 years ago, you could make some decent money. Not now. Our wear and tear on the cars, we're not making money, California citizens. So stand with us. No on Proposition 22. I'm a driver. I speak to the drivers that lease cars from me, and we compare earnings. And the bottom line is that the algorithms, the software written by these gig companies, is controlling these gig workers and holding them down. What Uber and Lyft and Instacart and Doordash and others are doing, we call it the race to the bottom. They have billions of dollars and they subsidize and discount, right? Pushing the fares to the lowest number so that they drive competitors out of the market, so that they kill the taxi industry, so that they kill the shuttle industry, so that they can monopolize. And if you are voting yes on 22, you are supporting that type of evil action that they are participating in. So I ask you, California, I ask you to vote no on 22. Even if you see their fluffy ads that make you maybe feel sorry for the driver, these are extremely misleading TV ads, right? What we are pushing for is true independent contractorship, so that we can set our rates, so that we can actually survive on the monies that we are generating, the miles, the trips that we are taking for the passengers and the riders. What Uber and Lyft and Instacart and Doordash on the other side, what they are doing is that they are really paying out the absolute minimum and blowing money like there's no tomorrow, right? By subsidizing and killing the opposition. You cannot vote yes. So please rally around no on 22. When you walk into that ballot box, right, in November, and if you truly want to do something good for the economy, if you truly want these companies to pay into the system, not siphon and taken away from the system, you have to vote no on 22, right? And you just ask yourself, why does a company, or why do a few companies put $180 million into a campaign? Surely that $180 million could be used on bettering the environment, putting money into non-profits, putting money into eradicating racism in the United States, in California, putting money into the system for health, putting money into the system for education for your kids. No, they go and squander $180 million on TV ads and buying signatures. Have you, the California citizen, ever walked into a shopping center or have been in a parking lot where people approach you and say, hey, we urgently need you to sign this? Well, guess what? That individual is getting paid $4 per signature by Uber and Lyft to get your signature, right? So that they could get onto the ballot and manipulate the outcome by running deceptive ads asking for yes on 22. You're way smarter than that, California. You're way smarter than that. When you have oil companies, pharmaceutical companies, and companies like Uber and Lyft who are already making billions of dollars, right, asking for your vote so that they can make additional billions of dollars, then at that point you got to say to yourself, there's something wrong. If these companies are funding $180 million, there has to be something wrong if they ask. So there are about 4 or 5 spots where I'll be offering. I apologize for that, but that's just Verizon has a couple of weak points here around the 101 Calabasas area. Got Abstract Jimmy in the house. He says they will be forced to make drivers, employees, or treat them as true independent contractors. What we're really pushing for, ladies and gentlemen, California citizens, what we are really pushing for is that they treat us as true independent contractors, and that they stop manipulating us, and that they stop paying us pennies on the dollar. That's what we're fighting for on No on 22. I want to see drivers become true independent contractors, right? And the state of California has to also safety net. We shouldn't have to fall back onto the taxpayer and rely on the taxpayer to bail us out or bail Uber and Lyft out. Uber and Lyft should be paying into the system. They're paying 0.00 into the system, and the yes on 22 doesn't cut it. It's back to the same old days. You will never be a true independent contractor under yes on 22. So we have to fight for true independent contractor status. And we are able to choose our trips. We shouldn't be forced to take specific trips. And if we don't take those trips, we get punished. So stand up, stand with us drivers on No on 22, ladies and gentlemen. Please have our backs, and don't buy into the manipulative ads that these companies are paying for. Paying $180 million to try and win you, the voter, over. Don't fall for the nonsense. The pharmaceutical companies tried that with you. The oil companies tried that with you. They have enough money. Think about the little guy. Think about the guy that's driving you from A to B at 2 a.m. in the morning when you've had a couple of vodkas, right? Or you've had a couple of margaritas. That person gets you home safely. Think about those individuals. Support them and vote no on 22. Right? So, got some crazy drive here, just driving in front of, just pulling out in front of cars. California drivers, by the way, they've watched too many Fast and Furious movies. They really have. You know that, right? If you're a California driver, you're out there on the 405, the 5, 101, the 10, whichever highway you're on. You know that it is like the Fast and the Furious, right? So to have a good, reliable 5-star trip is worth a lot to a rider, is worth a lot to a passenger. And please back us with, when you walk into that ballot and you see Proposition 22, 22, remember 22, Proposition 22, it's a big N-O. N-O spells no. And the companies that are putting $180 million want you to vote yes, Y-E-S. When you see that yes and you see that no, you see that option you have, yes or no, please mark no, right? Just mark that no button. So we'll have a couple of more patches here where we have bad reception. It'll buffer for a little bit. I'll be back. There's about 4 or 5 spots where Verizon has very, very poor. I agree. They won't make drivers employees. We're not going to become employees, right? But we have to get the companies to pay into this, right? It shouldn't be that the California taxpayer bails out Uber, Lyft, Doordash, Instacart. No. Why? Because they've put nothing into the safety net. These join a union or any organization, so we don't have a voice. They want to manipulate the rates. They want to keep on paying their engineers to write the code that keeps the driver down, right? So that the majority of the money goes into their pockets. You know how these big companies work, right? So in your mind, you just simply cannot support them with a yes on 22, knowing that they put $110 million into yes on 22 and a further $70 million into 22. That's how desperate they are. $180 million. The second highest campaigns in history were by pharmaceutical companies, and $100 million into campaigns. Uber has already doubled that. That just shows how desperado these people are. So wherever you are in California, whether you're in slow San Luis Obispo, or in the beautiful city of Angels, Los Angeles, or San Francisco, or San Diego, or San Bernardino, or Inland Empire, or Palm Springs, or Riverside, or Torrance, or Manhattan Beach, or Hermosa Beach, or Van Nuys, or Tarzana, or Encino, or West Covina, or gosh, there's so many others. Support us, please, wherever you are. In Santee, in Pacific City, in Hollywood, in West Hollywood, in Santa Monica, in the LBC, Long Beach, Thousand Oaks, Westlake, Ventura, Oxnard, Santa Barbara, Monterey, Carmel, wherever you are, wherever you are, support us with no on 22. That'll help us stand up to the companies and help us become true independent. Can push back. I appreciate that. And you will read the comments here of many people chiming in, right? I have an open room. I allow all comments, whether you are yes or no. Just make your argument, right? Just make a constructive argument why you are voting yes or no. To be independent contractor, how would they negatively impact gig income companies? It shouldn't impact the gig companies at all if you're independent and you can set your own rates. I mean, you'd be setting rates so you earn a living, so Uber and Lyft would be making more, right? They're getting a part of your monies. So it should be in their best interest. It should be in their best interest to make you an independent contractor. They'd be earning more. But here's the thing. They first want to kill all the competition. They want to drive the taxi business out. They want to drive all the shuttle businesses out, and they've been very successful. Any California resident who used to see a blue shuttle on the road, do you remember those blue shuttles that you took? Right, well, Uber and Lyft destroyed them by subsidizing, discounting, and driving competition out of the market so that they have the monopoly. You as the California citizen cannot allow that, right? We should be able to all have fair competition, set our rates, and up the game a little bit, and pay into a system. It is wrong that Uber and Lyft and Instacart and Doordash are not paying into the system. It is wrong that you, the taxpayer, have to bail them out. So you vote no on 22. If you're sick and tired of bailing out these companies, you vote no on 22. They are not competition to rideshare. They have their slice of the pizza, right? They have their slice of the pizza. They serve their purpose. They have just the same right as you as a rideshare driver to be on the road. You know, if you're a driver in this channel and you want to see shuttle companies go under and taxi drivers go under, you shouldn't be in this business because you're not supporting your brothers and sisters. That means you're supporting Uber and Lyft to destroy any competitor out there and push the prices to the bottom, meaning you, the driver, are not making any money. You got to have the market has to be competitive. Taxi drivers have to be out there, shuttle drivers have to be out there, and 10 ride share so that the rates are adjusted and we get fair market rates, not rates by a monopoly, right? So I find it rather sad that the one person in this channel says, well, you know, they competition, they shouldn't be there. The shuttles and taxi drivers, I'm not okay with it that they're driven out of business. They're feeding families. I support the taxi drivers and the shuttle drivers. You've been cut off by taxi drivers and shuttle drivers? I mean, is that the end of the world because a taxi driver or a shuttle driver pissed on your battery for one day and you got a little bit upset, right? Why do you think the taxi drivers and shuttle drivers are behaving like that? It's because of what Uber and Lyft are doing to the rideshare drivers, pushing the market down, destroying their market, right? We should be able to set our rates. We should be able to have access to a multiplier and set our rates and keep it competitive, right? You know, then the taxi and shuttle drivers probably wouldn't have that type of behavior, right? The taxi and shuttle drivers are angry, not with you. They are angry with Uber and Lyft for what they are doing, and that is destroying the markets with the lowest and the lowest of the lowest of the lowest fares. And we are prepared to drive for those fares. We shouldn't drive for cents on the dollar. We should have competitive rates so that it's a healthy environment for everyone, right? And yes, on 22 is completely wanting to destroy that playing field. Yes on 22 wants to set them up for a monopoly so that they can dictate. They can drive all the people out of business first and then push your rates up, right? I'm going down to Long Beach, Jimmy. I should be there in about 45 to 50 minutes. I don't know if you're in the vicinity, or let me know where you are. I could always meet you. Taking my mask off. Nobody in the back seat, nobody in the passenger. Please hit the... I can only speak for Las Vegas about taxis and shuttles on the strip. Well, Vegas AAA, you got to ask yourself, who was there first, right? Taxi drivers and shuttle drivers, if it wasn't for them, your riders would not be educated. So work with them, don't work against them. They're only pissed at the companies because of what they are doing to the taxi and shuttle companies. Put yourself in the taxi driver's shoes, right? Put yourself when you have two big corporations spending drive them out of the market, right? You know, have some empathy and sympathy for these individuals. You know, just because you guys get into a little bit of a pissing match on the road, you cannot take that personal. That is their grudge against the companies. It's more the grudge against Dara and Logan Green and John Zimmer versus against you. It's not like they're angry against you. It's their frustrations against the company, right? So, you know, and here in California, we've had the Attorney General Javier Becerra take the companies to court. We've had the California Labor Commissioner take the companies to court. Why? Because they're not paying anything into the system, right? They're making the taxpayer, you the California citizen, pay for everything. California, right? California had to pay, taxi drivers had to pay thousands of dollars to get where they are. What? Only to see Uber and Lyft discount, hand out Uber passes, discount, subsidize with the billions of dollars from investors trying to kill their business? No. We got to stand in solidarity with shuttle drivers and taxi drivers and help them, right? We got to create a very, very fair and even marketplace. We're empowering these companies too much, like Uber and Lyft, to dry everyone out. That's not the type of behavior you, the driver, should support. That is not the type of behavior the California citizen should support, right? The California citizen should vote no on 22 and help the drivers put some pressure on Uber and Lyft and help the drivers become true independent contractors, right? Yes on 22. I mean, they're putting $180 million into yes on 22. The California citizen is not stupid. They know what you can do with $180 million. You can pay for education programs. Uber, Lyft, and Doordash should put this money into good other causes. And when citizens see that they put this into good causes, then they'll probably use their app more and support the company more, right? Versus spending $180 million against drivers. You can't support these false TV ads and this false yes on 22, right? I mean, $180 million, California citizens know. Put that towards senior abuse, put that towards animal abuse, put that towards child abuse, put that towards environmental issues, put that towards education, put that towards health. No, what are they doing? They're going and pissing in the wind $180 million into marketing, trying to win your vote, trying to manipulate you to work against the driver. You cannot stand for that, California. You cannot stand for that. Driving past an accident here. Now we're on the 405. Might be a little spot where I lose reception, but I'll be right back. Might buffer for like 10, 15, 20 seconds, but I'll be right back. And the state of California also needs to understand how complex this is, right? They can't just have a one-sided view. They got to meet these companies in the middle. They got to incorporate the drivers and work out a healthy deal. So you're getting good pay, you can set your rates, you become a true independent contractor, paying monies into the system, and the riders and the passengers have to be prepared to pay a little bit more. You're too spoiled, right? You're getting 5-star service for pennies. Got to be able to willing to pay 10-15% more. And I know they are. They are willing to pay 10-15% more. And that needs to go into the safety net so that California citizens don't have to bail out these companies. Look at what happened in the pandemic, right? Uber and Lyft and all these companies, gig companies, got a free ride. They didn't pay a cent into the system. They didn't pay a cent on taxes. And they're asking you to keep on supporting this type of behavior. It's wrong. We're right here, but does anybody know it? The 405 and Skirball. Los Angelinos will know it. And Los Angelinos, please, Los Angeles, I'm asking you, go out and vote no on 22 in November. Support the drivers, don't support the companies. San Francisco, I'm asking you, please vote no on 22. Support the drivers, don't support the companies, right? Monterey, I'm asking you to vote no on 22 in November. Support the drivers, don't support the companies. They already have enough money. Riverside, San Bernardino, Yucaipa, Inland Empire, Apple Valley, I ask you to stand with the drivers and vote no on 22 in November. Don't support the big companies, support the drivers. San Diego, Del Mar, Carlsbad, Oceanside, please stand with the drivers. Vote no on 22. Don't vote yes for the companies, right? Los Angeles, Santa Monica, Culver City, West Hollywood, Hollywood, North Hollywood, Los Feliz, Van Nuys, Tarzana, Winnetka. Vote no on Proposition 22. Stand with the drivers. Don't vote for the companies. South Bay of Los Angeles, Torrance, Manhattan Beach, Hermosa Beach, Redondo Beach. Stand with the drivers. Vote no on 22. Don't support yes, which supports the big companies, right? Orange County, Fullerton, Anaheim, Newport Beach, Costa Mesa, Huntington Beach. Please stand with us. Vote no on 22. Don't vote yes for the companies. Vote no and fight for independent contractorship and decent money for your driver. Stand in solidarity with us. Palm Springs, Desert Springs, La Quinta, Indio, Coachella, stand with us. Vote no on 22. Stand with the drivers. Don't vote yes for the big companies. San Jose, Palo Alto, Sacramento, stand with us. Vote no on 22. Support the drivers. Don't support the companies, right? And Ontario, West Covina, stand with us. Vote no on 22. Support the drivers. Let them become independent contractors. Don't support yes on 22, which is supporting the companies, right? They're not paying anything into the system. They're making you, the taxpayer, bail them out. So vote no. Don't be misled by their TV ads. Don't be misled by their advertising. They're doing the very same as the pharmaceutical companies are doing. They're doing the very same as the oil companies are doing. These companies have made enough money already off you. They're not paying anything into the system. So force their hand. Vote no on 22. I mean, to give you an idea, pharmaceutical companies and oil companies back in 2006 to get propositions on the ballot. They spent $92 million and $100 million respectively, and that was a ton of money. These guys have already almost spent double than that. They've spent $181,400,000. Uber, Lyft, Instacart, and Doordash, right? So that you bail them out once again. Absolutely no. We vote no on 22, right? We want to become true independent contractors. I want to see drivers, rideshare drivers, work side by side with taxi drivers, shuttle drivers. I want to see Uber and Lyft drivers become true independent contractors and set their rates, right? AB5 is forcing these companies so that they can allow drivers to set their own rates, so that the market becomes more even and regulated, not regulated by the big companies who are subsidizing and discounting and destroying the market, destroying the livelihood of taxi drivers and shuttle drivers. So taxi drivers, shuttle drivers, bus drivers, rideshare drivers, do your bit. Turn to social media. You have Twitter, you have Facebook, you have YouTube, you have Instacart, you have TikTok. Make your videos, put it out there, post your posts. Help us get no on 22 and shut these CEOs like Dara Khosrowshahi down. Shut these guys like Logan Green and John Zimmer down. Shut them down. They don't have your best interest in mind. They have their corporate interest in mind. And we cannot vote yes on 22. No is the only option, California. And I've just mentioned maybe 50 to 100 cities and neighborhoods in California. We need every California citizen, when you're going out to vote, right, whether it's through the mail or at a ballot box, when it comes to Proposition 22, remember this, there's two options. Yes on 22, that's for the companies, that's empowering the companies. No for 22 is fighting for the drivers, standing with your driver. The guy that's probably driven you home after a restaurant or after a nightclub so many times has brought you home safely. Stand with your drivers. Allow us to earn a decent wage. Allow us to engage in competitive, realistic rates versus what these companies are trying to feed you through their TV ads, through their false, deceptive. They've paid a couple of drivers. They've paid them. They've paid them to be in those ads, to say what they are saying, right? Listen to Wicked Hustle Guy. Listen to it, still out there working hard. They want to be true independent contractors. They want to be able to set their own rates. So any California citizen coming across this video, see what drivers are asking you to do, and that is vote no on 22. And please give it a thumbs up. Like the video. There's this little thumb at the bottom. All right, you can vote up or you can vote down. And you can leave your comments. You're more than welcome. Unlike Uber and Lyft, when they make a video, they don't allow you to comment because they're too scared, right? They're too scared to receive public feedback. They're too scared to read what drivers think about them. In this channel, you can leave your comment, whether you want to vote yes on 22 or vote no on 22. Just make your argument. It's Moose. Thank you. Much love back. I'm on the 405 here, and truly, anybody knows the 405. It's like the Fast and the Furious. People drive insane on the 405. It's like the wild, wild west. Vegas 888 in the house. And I'm pretty sure that Vegas 888, who's a Las Vegas driver, I'm sure he would like to be able to set his own rates. I'm sure he'd like to be able to earn a little bit more than he's earning now. It's possible. We just have to push and fight for that. Right? And the fact that you've got to pay $180 million, $180 million that you pay for a vote. They've been out there paying $4 for signatures, paying for misleading TV ads, trying to get you, the California voter, to vote for them and bail them out again. What did they put into the safety net during the pandemic? Nothing. You, the California voter, had to bail out these companies during the pandemic. They put nothing into the safety net. Nothing at all. All that money has just gone into the corporate accounts, right? And then they are coming out and misleading you and telling you that we are true independent contractors. Let me tell you what a true independent contractor can do, dear California citizen, right? You have the freedom to choose when you want to drive, with whom you want to drive. You have the freedom to choose to decline, to accept that trip or decline that trip. You have the freedom to set your rates. You have the freedom to work side by side and adjust rates next to taxi drivers and shuttle drivers. Not what these companies are doing, mislabeling you as they're true independent contractors. We're treating them as true independent contractors. No, they are not, California. They're not treating us as true independent contractors. They are pretending they are. They're using that word very, very loosely. These are the facts, right? So stand with us and let's push towards true independent contractors that can set their own rates and be independent of these companies. The companies are making enough money from us anyway. Why should they get the majority of the pie? Why should they not pay into the safety net? Why should they not pay any taxes and have offshore accounts in Liechtenstein, in Guernsey, in Ireland, right? Not paying into the California economy. They're paying shit, nothing in. So you've got to hold these companies responsible with voting no on 22. Don't hand it to them with yes on 22. So when you see that ballot and you see yes or no, you vote no. You vote not for the company, you vote for the little guy who's trying to make a living, right? I am a voice for drivers. I am a voice for any type of driver. I don't want to see my brothers and sisters in the taxi field get driven out of business. I don't want to see shuttle companies folding. It really hurt me when I saw and spoke to the CEO of the Blue Shuttle, because the Blue Shuttle over the last 10, 15, 20 years, I caught it many times, was a very inexpensive way to get to the airport. They're gone. Uber drove them out of business. And you'll want to understand, you'll understand why taxi drivers are upset with Uber and Lyft, because they are engaging in race to the bottom rates, subsidizing, discounting these fares with the billions that they have from the investors to kill the opposition. That's not who we are, California. We're better than that, right? We got to hold companies like Google, Apple, Uber responsible. They have to pay. Amazon has to pay in. Apple has to pay in. Google has to. Idea. I'm back. Sorry about that, Dad. As I said before, there will be a couple of spots where. Give me a minute. I'm going to divide 180 million to. I like that. Registered voters. Answer is $8. That's what they paid. $8.61 per voter. Thank you for that math. And dear voter, that's what they spent. $8.61. Could have given that to every voter, right? That's what they paid to try to get every voter. $180 million. Thank you for doing the math there. But I think the amount of California citizens is even higher than that. I think it's 30-something million. So it should be $6. I mean, all. Oh, eligible. Okay. Yes, you're right. Eligible. Right. Eligible voters. Right. Thank you. Thank you for clarifying. I just learned something there. eligible voters, 20.9 million. Thank you for doing the math. So they're out there with these sheets approaching you at Trader Joe's, Vaughn's, Ralph's, buying your signature, paying $4 for your signature. Why didn't they put that $4 towards environment, education, child abuse, senior abuse, animal abuse? No, they paid $4 for your signature. You cannot support these companies in your right mind. You cannot vote yes on 22 and support the companies that are putting nothing into the pandemic and expecting you, the taxpayer, to bail them out. Absolutely not. It's an NO, the only way to go. The only way to go is NO. The only way to go is NO for no. Don't support the companies. If they can pay 181 million to get their way, they can pay for employee benefits and their taxes. Exactly. Why not apply that $180 million towards the safety net? Why not put that $180 million into the safety net for drivers, right? For the pandemic or for multiple other great causes. No, you want to piss $180 million, that's 1/5 of $1 billion into the wind. Just piss it into the wind as if it were nothing. That just shows you there's no relationship to money. All this crazy money and they're just pissing it out on this and this and this. This is how these guys are operating. Why? Because they're not paying any taxes. They're not paying any taxes here in California. They have all their offshore accounts. You, the California citizen, have to hold these companies responsible when you vote. And you vote NO. When you vote yes, you are supporting the same racket as before. You're allowing them to get away with murder. And what we want, so that the California citizens understand, what we want is to be truly treated as independent contractors, not what they try and tell you that we are independent contractors. We're not independent contractors. They're setting the rates, they manipulating the rates, right? We need to be true independent contractors. That is what we really need to push for. They're hiding behind this IC, this independent contractor term, pretending we are selling you on the fact, oh, they are true independent contractors. No, we're not. People in Vegas, Albuquerque, Miami, Denver, New York, New Jersey, they're not independent contractors. They are manipulated by the algorithms and the software that Uber and Lyft have written. And they're taking 50% of our monies, 50% of that fare that you are paying. If you're paying $20 for that ride, they are taking $10 of that money, right? So stand with your driver. He or she, the people that are getting you safely from A to B, the people that pick you up at restaurants, sports arenas, shows, events, movies, parties, barbecues, nightclubs. Stand with those people, California. Stand with the drivers and vote NO. What if, well, you're in Vegas, so I'm not sure how you can vote, right? You said you're in Vegas, right? It says, what if I vote yes? You're in, I mean, it's not on your ballot, right? Or are you a California driver going under the name of Vegas? Where are you? So you can talk about it. Why do you even make a statement so you can't vote yes? You personally cannot vote yes. You asked me, can I vote yes on 22? And the answer is no, because you are a registered voter in Nevada. Wrong or right? Right? Answer my question. Where do you live? Where do you vote? And my reply is simple. You personally cannot vote yes on 22. I'm just answering your question. It's not that I don't like these companies. We're keeping it real here, right? You're in Vegas, right? Vegas, baby. Cool. I go there many times. I spend a lot of money there, right? But here you are, you're asking me, can I vote yes on 22? You personally can't, right? If you want to get involved in the conversation, sure, you can turn to social media and try and influence California citizens to vote yes, right? Not quite sure how that's going to help you in Vegas, right? If anything, you'd want the same right now. You want to get the multiplier and a step towards independent contractor status is what we fought for in California when we got the AB5. We'd like to extend those privileges to all the Vegas drivers. So I think it's best for Vegas AAA to go educate himself about the bill. Okay, this is the California bill. And then go out on social media. If I was a California resident or driver or rider, this is how I vote because ... And the state of California, sure, they don't want the California taxpayer bailing out these companies. So California, the companies and the drivers have to figure out, how do you create an independent contractor, right, who earns more, who sets their own fares, and then has a safety net. If something happened to 888 in Vegas, you have nothing to fall back on. Nothing. You have no health net, nothing. Shit to, if you end up in hospital because the car hits you, you have nothing to fall back on. Then you say, shit, I should have helped California or helped Nevada create a safety net. Right now you're driving and making a little bit of money here and there, and you're pissing it out with shuttle drivers and taxi drivers that are obviously upsetting you, but you have no safety net. I'll tell you directly in your face, you have zero safety net. If something would happen to Vegas driver 888 today, it wouldn't end well, because you have no money there to protect you unless you've stashed away a few $100,000, unless you have a house that you can maybe sell. You have to have a safety net, right? You have to have some protections built in. You can't just go every 24 hours and pray for the next 24 hours and pray for the next 24 hours. If you have kids and you have family, you have to think long term, right? If you want to buy a house, you got to make money. You can't just rent all the time and make ends meet just try and scrape through the week and hope that the government will bail you out, or hope that the taxpayer will bail you out. You got to have a plan in place. Right? You got to be truly independent and have a plan in place and a safety net in place. I'm not bashing you. I'm welcoming you to the real world, buddy, because sometimes you have to show people the real world. What is the real world about? I feel very good. I feel very, very good about the argument. I don't have to bash you. I am literally using you as an example. You said to me, can I vote yes on 22? No, you can't, right? Because you're in Vegas. But when this comes to Vegas, right, I hope you start making some decent money, and I hope nothing happens to you. I hope you don't run into a situation where something has happened in the pandemic and you need backup, because right now you have zero backup, nothing. Unless you can say to me, hey, you know what? I used to have a company, I have a house, I've paid it off, I have a safety net, right? Right now, you are out on the streets of Vegas doing trip after trip with no safety net. You don't even have the ability to set your own rates. What you're doing is you're taking 50% of Uber and Lyft. God forbid something happens to your car, God forbid something happens to you, you need a safe, and I hope it never happens. I hope you never get it. I hope you never have an accident. I hope you're never affected by the pandemic. I hope you never have any health issues, right? But some people encounter these problems. It's the real life, my friend. Welcome to the real world. We can't live in pretend land, Vegas AAA. You can't live in the pretend world. Absolutely not. You have to live in the real world. And let me tell you, the real world is that Uber and Lyft are selling Californians on the fact that we are true independent contractors. We're not. And even my friend there in Vegas, he's not a true independent contractor. He might think he is a true independent contractor. He can't pick or choose. It's not independent, right? So we need to stop being so gullible. We're so gullible and believe, because that's the term they put on us. I'm an independent contractor. You have some form of independence. Yes, you do. You can choose between Uber and Lyft. You can choose your hours. That's it. That's the only independence you have. You don't have any independence beyond that. You could be out on the street tomorrow deactivated. So you'd have to have some protections built in there, my friends, right? And I'm asking the California citizens, when you mail in that ballot, when you go to the voter booth, vote NO. You see the yes, you see the no, you vote NO. NO stands for creating a safety net, working for the drivers, fighting for true independent contractor status, not the BS that they are trying to sell. Yes stands for the companies. And ask yourself, why do you have to pay $180 million as a company to get this on the ballot? Why do you as a pharmaceutical company have to pay $105 million? Because you have an agenda. Why as you as the oil industry, Exxon, Chevron, Mobil, have to pay $92 million to get a ballot, to get a vote on the ballot, a proposition on the ballot, right? You're already making so much money. You're paying out insane CEO salaries. That's what you're supporting if you're going yes on 22. You are supporting his $45 million salary. You are supporting these insane energy, Exxon, you're supporting Jeff Bezos not paying anything into the system. These companies need to start paying into the system. Start repairing our roads, start bettering the education, start taking care of the environment, right? So that your children and their children have a legacy, right? Such a short-term thinking like, hey, what can I greedily take now? What can I extract now, I as the company? We cannot let that fly, ladies and gentlemen. So vote no. No on Proposition 22. And if you have a great counter argument from Las Vegas, Nevada, I want to hear it. I want to hear your counter argument. You put a great counter argument and debate me over 22 all day long, right? But you cannot come to me and say that you are a true independent contractor, which you are not. It's what they try and make you believe you are, right? The only limited independence that you have is that you can choose which company you want to work for, and you can choose if you want to work at 2 o'clock at night or 6 a.m. or 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We're fighting for that anyway. We're fighting for that independence. That nobody's going to take it away from you in the gig world. It wouldn't work, right? So California needs to step up. The companies need to step up. And the drivers need to step up and work something out that works, right? Work something out that creates a safety net, and then duplicate it in Vegas. Then duplicate that in Florida, in Texas. Sorry, it was buffering. I'm only going to end the feed when you see me down in Long Beach at the mechanic's shop. Hit the like button. I thank everyone that was in the stream today. Vegas 8, Jimmy, Abstract Echo, Wicked Hustler, everyone, It's Loose, everyone that participated in this. Every future person coming into this video, thank you. And I invite in healthy dialogue. Make your case, yes on 22 or no on 22. I think I've tried to make my case. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm not working against you, Vegas. I'm not. You may think you're feeling attacked, just like you may think you're feeling attacked by taxi drivers, shuttle drivers. I'm not attacking you. I'm trying to work with you and make things better, right? The one thing I'm really, really good at is negotiating. I get better deals, always, right? Best for everyone. I want the best for Vegas. I want them to treat you decently and fairly. I want them to give you the multiplier and give you the ability to choose, right? That's what we're fighting for. I'm not going to settle for crumbs, right? So if you feel attacked, I apologize. That is not my intention. My intention is through my unique way to bring out the best of the best in a human, you know. And it's not like you have to like or dislike the video. If you like the video, you obviously liked. Oh crap, I took the wrong turn off. How funny. I took the wrong turn off. There I am. I was looking at the screen and I took the wrong turn off. That's okay. Slight detour. Makes only a 2-3 minute difference. I think I got out 1 or 2 exits earlier. It's all good. It's all good. Let's go. We're in Long Beach. I think we're on Signal Hill, I believe, on Cherry Avenue. Anybody know Cherry Avenue? It's a very hot topic, absolutely. You're 100% correct. It's a hot topic for everyone, right? Because all we're trying to do is protect our earnings, we're trying to protect our job, we're trying to protect our livelihood, right? You're 100% correct when you say it is a hot topic. It is. And you know, you have 181 Vegas 888, you have 181 million on the one side, and then you maybe have a couple of organizations that have drummed up $4.5 million. Nothing. They outspent 50-1. Does the driver or does, you know, the California resident have some say in this? Absolutely yes. They are the people going to the voting booth, right? And I say don't make the fat cat fatter. I say fight for the best deal and distribute the wealth and make sure you take care of your drivers. Make sure you start treating them as true independent contractors. LBC, baby. We probably get paid the less of most cities. Yeah, you know, I'm not happy. I know so many Vegas drivers. I've met with so many Vegas drivers. I see what they earn. They send me the screenshots, and it's wrong. It's wrong, right? And you know why? Honestly, you know why they're paying you that little in Vegas? Because they're really trying to push those taxi drivers and shuttle drivers out of the Vegas market, right? They want to push them out. So the rider pays the lowest of the lowest of the lowest rates in Vegas, the rider. And then the driver gets a fraction of that. I'm not for that. I'm here to fight for a bigger piece of the pie for Vegas. If anything, I have your back. And because it's like a very hot topic, it may not quite come across that way, Vegas 888, but I have Vegas's back. I don't just fight for California. You should know me better than that. Every time I incorporate everyone, even my international friends, whether you're in Africa, whether you're in Australia, whether you're in New Zealand, whether you're in Europe. We're fighting for them all. Shouldn't be a few people on the top controlling a couple of million people. Wrong. And again, thank you for participating, and be safe out there. Get out, back in Vegas, make money, be safe. We're on Redondo Avenue. I've been live for just over an hour right now. Quite a long trip down. Refuel. Refueling in a German car, for example. This is a BMW. I always forget every single time that the fuel cap is on the other side. I'm so accustomed to the American cars that I drive, you know, where the fuel cap is on the left, and then you have a fuel cap on the right. Maso gasolina. Let's go. Maso gasolina. How's everyone doing? You back making money? Let me know. Are you still, anybody in California get the PUA, that $300 a week? Very low on gas, literally fumes. So sort of like anxious to get to this one gas station, which is 3 streets down, and then I'll breathe again. Let's briefly see me get out the car. One street away. I'm one street away. Thank you for sticking in with me for 67 minutes. Thank you, California. Thank you, subscribers. Thank you, everyone. Gasoline, putting out fire with gasoline. Have a good day, Vegas. You too, buddy. I'm with you. And I didn't mean to offend, or if you feel attacked, I apologize, okay? It was not my intention. I cherish you as a friend and subscriber. I just want to see better rates for Vegas drivers, period. And you know, Vegas 888, these guys in California are actually making some decent money right now because of this multiplier, right? So for example, on a Friday and Saturday night, you know how busy it is in Vegas, right? It's all the out of towners are there, hustle bustle. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you're making the money. You should be able to set your 2.x, 3x, 3.5x, and maybe midnight 5x, right? And make the money that the guys are doing right now in California. And we've been fighting hard for that. So, you know, I don't understand the double standards of Uber and Lyft, that they will not extend those same privileges to Vegas drivers. And that's what we got to fight for, right? That's what we got to fight for. So we have your back. I have a very interesting way to get to my goal, right? I have the casino is fully open in Vegas. Only he can answer that. He's there, he's dialed in. But I have a very interesting way to get to my destination, but I get to my destination. You know, I'm a born street fighter. One of the best you'll ever meet as far as street fighters go. And that is not physical street fighter, street smarts, right? I have been on the streets and making money since an 11-year-old. I know what it means to work, to hustle, right? Yesterday, couple of deals, couple of little emails, and that made myself $2,000 in one day. I know how to make money, right? And I want to help drivers make money. I want to help drivers achieve their worth. It's not true. I didn't make quite 2,000. I made $1,950 short of $2,000 yesterday. One day, right? But I want to help people get their true potential. I spent 30 minutes with a gentleman, Liban, in Irving, Texas today, helping him getting his company going, right? I want to see people do well. Starting a limo company in Texas. I want to see him do well. I will support him until he does well. I will support Vegas until we get our worth. We have to fight for our worth, right? And that sometimes means you got to get in the ring like Tyson, and you got to deliver uppercuts, hooks, jabs, and knock them out, right? Doesn't matter if it's a 12-round fight or 15-round fight. Got to get in there and slug it out. I'm just getting some gas. So what's interesting here in Long Beach, get out the car. It is literally, it's not like snow, but it's all the ash from the fires that are falling out the sky. Obviously very, very unhealthy air quality, but all the ash is sprinkling down on the car. Not as bad as worse than where I just came from, which is up, Calabasas, Segura, Westlake area. It wasn't that bad, but it is truly like drizzling ash from all the fires. That's how bad it is. And if I look up in the skies are like orangey color, right? Really, really horrible orangey color, smoky color. Cannot be healthy. No worries, buddy. You drive safe. Be safe. Take care of the family, my friend. Hopefully, look, check out, look at all these little white, it's just like pissing down ash here. Isn't that crazy? Hey, look who's in the house live, Mr. Jimmy Abshredeko. Thank you. That was Jimmy Abshredeko. Wow, arrived when I arrived. Ruben! There's my baby. We'll be working on her today. And I'm gonna get my mask. I'm walking towards Jimmy Abstract Echo. Dude, you are so kind, dude. I cannot even express what that means.
I'm glad to do it, man.
Dude, this man is a legend. This guy was in our feed early on. He is the biggest contributor on Rideshare Professor channel. Jimmy, the real deal.
That's a way of saying I have a big mouth.
Exactly. And you know what? He made this stunning acrylic art piece, which I'm going to demo in my videos once I've set it up at home as a wedding gift for myself and Laura. And Laura says a million thanks. And it's just too kind. And he's going to present it the proper way. And then, you know what's also, I showed you in the last feed, and we need to go back to that one. You know, this is why I'm routing for the Lakers to win the NBA this year so that they bring the trophy home for Kobe. But this man in his generous and kind heart made a piece called 9 Remembered, right? 9 Remembered. And I briefly showed you. And it was when the light went into the prism, it shone up like purple and yellow like the Lakers colors, and you could see the number 9, and he made that for Vanessa Bryant.
Bring it to you another time. I got to repair it. I already
Really? How did you?
I tweaked that line there. I took the tension out of it.
Is that one? Is that?
I could repair it.
No, I mean I don't see it. Okay, I mean only you with the magic eye would see that. I think it's super cool.
What blows people's minds is it's all straight lines.
It's all straight lines.
People
Look at that.
It, but then you look at it this way.
It's stunning, dude. It's just amazing, and that's. I want, you know, I was curious how did you get into it? I mean, did you start working with acrylic at a young age, or did you just? How did you?
I did actually.
You did.
The funny part was I was a magician.
Okay.
For many years, but
wow.
I didn't like the magic tables that were out. They either had a clown or a flower or something stupid painted on them.
Yes.
And I wanted to do something more modern, so I went to the School of Hard Knocks to learn how to work with acrylic.
So you not only learned how to work with acrylic, but like this is like your I mean the lines, what you put into this, the thought, obviously tons of work, right? And pulling every line here. I mean is that a common type of art out there, or is there something?
It's the only one of its kind. I've never seen anything else like it.
That's just amazing.
Yeah, it came about in a weird way. I'll put this down. It came about in a really weird way. I was bored at home.
Okay.
And I had this weird image in my head.
Okay.
And that's a dangerous combination. Me bored and a weird image.
Right,
okay,
bored and weird image. That's dangerous combo.
and I saw this and I go, I wonder if I could make it tangible. So I was going to do it with wood, but I had a lot of spare acrylic from other projects out in the garage. So I just started cutting up the acrylic sheet. I had a drill press, started drilling the holes. And
formed the shell, right?
I welded the frame together.
Right.
That's what we do. We weld it. They don't glue.
Okay.
And when I got there, I started just weaving the line through. And I just thought it actually worked. Nobody's more surprised.
So I mean, weaving the line, I mean, you know, you basically creating the spaces, right? And literally almost like a thread, you feeding it through that minute little hole and creating these parallel lines, if I can call it that, right?
Pretty much what they
that I should guess is the most labor-intensive part of it all, right, or not?
Well, polishing up the edges.
Okay.
Takes some time.
That's what it is.
Sand them, then you have to polish them. But what even worse, it wreaks havoc with your depth perception when you're trying to put a line in through a acrylic. It's like it looks like it's going in.
You were using any measurement tools, or are you going very much by the eye?
No, what I do for these is I use graph paper.
Okay.
This has a masking on it. It usually has a paper masking or plastic masking. I put double-sided tape down here. Yes. And then I take a strip of graph paper and just kind of eyeball it out, and then I just know to drill on the line.
So I mean, you have a super fine, tiny little drill, and then and once you feed it through and create the lines, how do you sort of like when the line comes to an end? I mean, is it glued up, or how does it? How does the line end?
Well, what I do is I generally you can't time on a filament line.
Okay.
Because the knot moves around, especially when you change the tension. So what I do is I'll loop it around a couple of times, like. I'll show you the other side. Well, no, like right here. It's kind of hard to see, but
oh,
I loop,
yes.
I loop it around twice, and then I take a round toothpick.
Okay.
And I jam it in there, and I push it in. So what it does, it actually wedges the line up against the edge of the hole.
Yes.
So it can't pull out.
That's awesome.
Then I break off the toothpick, and then I have a scribe where I push it down a little further so it's countersunk.
Yeah. And then you know what, I'm looking at it now. I sort of see, okay, that depth that you've created with like the reddish color. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're feeding them to different points in the frame, right? To create that.
Yeah, I just kind of I call it an over one, up one, because down here I'll go over one, and over here I'll go up one.
I see. And you created that concept to create that type of depth.
Right.
It's stunning.
Yeah.
And when you guys saw the links that I played, the videos that he has, right? When you're shining the light into that, which looks like a prism, like breaking up the light, and takes on this whole new life, right? Once it's turning around. And I guess the best would be with ultraviolet light, because then you bring out the real true colors, right?
Yeah, all the colors here are UV reactive. What I used red and blue, which is which is fire and ice. And fire and ice gives us the ultimate life force of water.
That's awesome.
So that's kind of what I'd say your marriage would represent to yourself.
Yeah.
And on the upside too, if you ever get in an argument with Laura,
you could just turn around and you just switch around and then just forget about the negative energy. I love it. See, that's his humor right there. That's amazing. Cool. I want to make another one on the Rideshare Professor channel, but let's go out of the awesome. Thank you. And now we're gonna do a quick video together, because you got a real driver. I want to ask him some questions on Rideshare, and then also on his art. So I'm with Abstract Echo Jimmy here. Hello, signing out for now, and then we're gonna go over to